What is up, people of the internet? Welcome to the 4th edition of the Flipaforum podcast. My name is Michael.
I'm Omar.
And I'm Samir.
And we are your hosts. And today we got an exciting lineup of news to discuss. But before we continue, guys, this is our 4th episode. 4 weeks in a row. Almost 1 month. How does everybody feel?
Very, very excited. I think the last 4 weeks have not only been great in terms of sitting together with you guys and talking about tech, it's also keeping in touch with what's happening in the world, and really getting to have an open discussion. And obviously, as more people watch the podcast, getting some feedback as well.
Amazing. Samir?
I feel this podcast has been eye-opening for me. I've learned a lot in the last 4 weeks, more than I thought I ever would in such a short time. So I'm very excited about this, and I'm really excited about being a member of this amazing team that we have here.
Fantastic. All right, guys, let's get it going. Let's dive in. Humane, the secret company that took half of Apple's top employees. What could they be working on? Hackers threatened to leak 80 gigabytes of confidential data stolen from Reddit. What happened to our voices in the previous podcast? We'll get into all of that. Top 5 mobile phones in every category. Lastly, we will end this podcast off with some fun tech trivia. Alrighty. And lastly, if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss any new content. We would greatly appreciate it. Humane. Humane is a very interesting company, not only for their secrecy with regards to what they're actually working on, but their star-studded team that was comprised of a bunch of Apple employees, very high-ranking Apple employees. Humane states, they are the next shift between humans and computing. The best human experience ever. What does this mean? For many of you, this could be the first time anyone is hearing of Humane. And perhaps no one other than the company knows exactly what they're actually working on. Now, for the first time this month, the co-founder released a teaser on this unique piece of technology that he will be releasing. I truly believe that it's only about 5% of actually what it is, but we'll get into all of that a little bit later. Now, for the first time this month, the co-founder released a teaser of what the technology could potentially be via TED Talk. Before we get into all of that, let's first reveal the humans who are behind Humane. Imran Chaudhry and Bethany Bongiorno. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. You guys can check it out. The two co-founders, a power couple who actually met at Apple. Imran and Bethany are accomplished professionals who have made significant contributions at Apple. Now, I'm going to tell you what this Imran, I'm not too sure how to pronounce his name. How would you say it?
Imran?
I'm going to tell you some of his accomplishments via Apple. Now, Imran is known for inventing the user interface of the Apple iPhone and holds numerous Apple's patents. He was also responsible for creating some of the most beloved Apple products like the Macintosh, Apple Watch, and even the iPod. Apple Watch interface, that's him. Slide to unlock, that's him. iPhone home screen layout, that's also him. He was one of the first original 6 people that actually worked on the iPhone, the first original iPhone. Clearly, he's a boss and he knows what he's doing. And he's definitely one of the most influential innovators of our time. Now, Bethany, on the other hand, she led the teams in developing transformative products and has a background in physics and software development. She also helped Apple launch the very first iPad. Now, clearly, both are a very big deal, and they had integral parts in the growth of Apple over time. Before we continue, they have just the co-founders alone. They very, very smart people, and considering the amount of patents they both own and the amount of products they collectively worked on, what kind of ideas do you think they came up with this new company so far from what we hear? Before we continue, I want to hear what you guys have to think.
I'll dial back to the company first. Humane. What does humane mean? The ability to feel compassion, right? That's where it's stemming from. You look at these two individuals that have, 3 decades worth of experience at Apple. They are trying to change the experience of how we live our lives today. I've been following them for a little bit. One of the things that really struck me was how they want to take away from how people are enslaved to their phones today, and make make tech something that's now in the background, and it's available to you when and where you need it. So I think it's really something that's very exciting. And if I had a chance to intern there for 6 weeks, I would drop everything and go.
Well, like Umar was saying, it's going to be something that takes away the whole hardware aspect of how we use technology. They're trying to minimize the use of hardware, because it's the hardware that basically keeps us tethered to our phones and to our computers and to our watches. And if it wasn't for the hardware, I think it would be there, but it would be more seamless. It would be there, but it would be less noticeable. And I think it would allow us, or give us the opportunity to interact with our environment and the people around us. So I think what they're going after is what I would say an ideal mix of technology, as well as the ability for people to start interacting with their environment, and not just being totally focused and enslaved to their devices. And I think this is a very honorable and a very recommendable mission that they're on, and I wish them all success. And I think they're going to face a lot of obstacles, as all new technologies and as all new companies do. But given that they have a pretty solid background and working in the industry for about 20 years or so, and they have a pretty solid team, I think they will do pretty well.
Great. And just to give you guys a heads up, they left Apple around 2016, and they started this new piece of technology in 2017, which is now formerly known as Humane, which we absolutely have no idea what it actually is until recently. A month ago, they released a little teaser. We'll get into that shortly. But before we continue, Omar briefly spoke about the definition of humane. Akshay, can I ask you for a quick favor? Do you mind pulling up the definition of humane?
Yeah.
All right, can we zoom up on that a little bit? Samir, do you mind reading that? Humane.
Having or showing compassion or benevolence.
Having or showing compassion or benevolence. Now, there's two other words in there. Let's look at them. Let's look at them separately. Compassion. Can we click on compassion? Omar, can you read that?
Sure. Compassion, sympathetic pity and concern for the suffering or misfortune of others. Think about, like, the moment I see the word compassion, or I think about it, I think of a hospital. That's where it takes me. So,
okay.
Keyword there, and I think the other one means kindness.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Can we read the exact definition of?
Actually, we need.
Do you want me to read it?
Go back for a second.
Okay.
And then there's one more word there, which was benevolence.
Benevolence.
Yeah, the quality of being well-meaning, which is kindness.
All right. So it seems like through their company Humane, they aim to create more intelligent and personalized technology that prioritizes the human connection.
Yeah.
Based on their definition.
Right.
I want to do a little bit more research on this company because they're quite interesting. Can we go on Humane, the actual website, and can we go to the front page?
I just wanna say real quick. I think what they're trying to do is trying to create an all-encompassing platform, right? Which I think that's where the humane aspect comes into it. It does not limit people accessing this technology, and allows people to be able to use this technology for good. So I think that's kind of the feeling I'm getting from this.
Yeah, I agree. Akshay, can we go to the previous page just for a second?
Yeah.
So on the front page, you say good. It says good AI is humane. 10 principles of designing good AI. AI is a very hot topic right now. Let's see what they have to say. Now, first one. Good AI is humane. We already know the definition. Let's keep going. Good AI is trustworthy. Good AI is ethical. Good AI is transparent. Good AI is innovative. Good AI is useful, is efficient, is human-centered, is accessible, is inclusive, and is timeless. I believe that's the end here, right?
Yeah.
So clearly they care about the direction AI is going to right now, because there's a lot of talks about AI and how dangerous this could be for society.
Right.
Now, I wanted to speak a little bit about the team that they've compiled over time. Now, they have about 140 employees currently working for Humane, and 60 of them used to work for Apple, believe it or not. I'm not going to get into the names of who these employees are, but I'm going to break down on what these employees are responsible for when it comes to Apple. Touchscreen feature on the iPhone, the actual touchscreen feature on the iPhone, Magic Mouse, iCloud, FaceTime, the invention of autocorrect. I can go on and on and on. A combined 420 years spent on Apple developing numerous products. Now, they clearly have a lot of experience, and they have a lot of talent, a lot of skill. They're clearly building something incredible here. There's no other reason for everybody to just get up and leave Apple, which is a great company. There must be a reason behind this. What's the purpose here? I want to briefly go on to back onto their website and read what their mission statement is, because this is very interesting. Now, our mission, we believe in building innovative technology that feels familiar, natural, and human. Technology that improves the human experience and is born from good intentions. Products that put us back in touch with ourselves, each other, and the world around us. Experiences that are built on trust with interactions that feel magical and bring joy. Humane was founded on the principle that we all deserve more from technology. Now, let's list some of the implications, as we all know, of the mobile phones, for example. Distractions and reduced productivity, potential health effects over time, social isolation and reduced face-to-face interaction.
I think we've got to dial back a little bit. You think about, first and foremost, the initial computer was almost big as a room that we're in right now. It was as big. Got smaller, became a desktop, became more powerful. However, you were still glued to your desk. Then came the laptop, which brought the portability, but less versatility, which is why we eventually came to the phone. Really amazing product, really helps you get a lot done. But ultimately, if you go to, even it's sad to see, you go to a restaurant, you go to a park, or you go to the gym or any public setting, there's a lot of people that instead of interacting with one another or appreciating their surroundings are just on their phone. And I'm guilty of this. I'll pick up my phone every now and then just to see if I have an update. It is so normal for us to be on our phone that we're forgetting or we're losing that realm of what the world used to be. What this company is doing is essentially taking the phone and our gadgets and just putting them in the background somewhere.
So you're saying that they're trying to eliminate the physical component.
They're eliminating the physical component. Here's what I want you to think. Think about Jarvis in Iron Man. Guy walks in, Iron Man walks in. He needs like weather updates. Hey, like what's the traffic like? XYZ. Literally within 30 seconds or less, everything is like in front of him. All the information he needs is in front of him. Let's say this is a technology, for example, if I had to repair my car, for instance, needed to change something, the information would be readily available. What part is missing? Where am I going to find it from? What the traffic route, etc., is going to be there? Or like what's it going to be like to get there? And then once I have that information, I can just simply remove it. So 10 years ago, stuff we used to watch on TV and it really fascinated us is now actually becoming reality. If this is something that replaces the phone, I think this is much more exciting to me than even the Vision Pro.
Yeah, I completely agree. And let's just take a step back and look at all of its use points here.
Right.
Uses the actual mobile device. Let's see how much we're actually on this phone. Now we wake up, we check social media, we turn off the alarm, we enter in our GPS coordinates or whatever you want to call it, our location. Come to the office, look at your email. You're hungry now. Let me order some food. I'm going to do that through the phone, Uber. You have to send texts. Then you have to answer calls. Then you have to search something on the internet. Then you go back on social media. Then you have to take some photos. It seems like there are so many different aspects in our lives where we're always on our phones. Like 10 years ago, I would be, sitting for dinner with my family. And nobody would be on their phones. And all of a sudden, fast forward 10 years from that date, everybody's sitting on their phones, and it just felt like everybody's kind of out of touch. Now, I'm going to give you a couple more examples where I felt guilty of the actual moment. For example, I might go to a basketball game or I might go to a concert, and I just see everybody pulls out their phone for the best moment of the night. And you know what? I actually went to this concert last year, and there was I was guilty of it as well, obviously, and I was taking a lot of videos, but there's this one really, interesting moment that happened where I decided to put the phone down, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this moment because I don't like to have a physical component in front of my face and think that I'm going to have the same type of emotion looking at a video versus me actually looking at it and live. Also think about the amount of videos parents take of their kids taking their first steps. You have a physical component. Now, what do you think is more? I understand they want to keep the memory and everything like that, but I feel like you're not able to embrace the moment to the fullest when it's happening in live time. Now, with Humane, this company, if they're able to build this technology, like Omar said, put it somehow in the background, I think we'll be able to enjoy our lives. It will bring joy. What's their actually, you don't have to put it on the screen, but can we go to the our story?
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. Trust, truth, and joy. We're built on the foundation of our values of trust, truth, and joy, and we are now growing our team through the same belief system. And believe it or not, they're probably gonna somehow incorporate that into their product. Samir?
Well, I think just the fact that it has been so easy for the technology and for phones and such to captivate us in this fashion is because I think most people are just bored. People are bored, and they want to feel like they're doing something all the time. And I think this is what it's done. It's allowed people to feel like, okay, I'm actually doing something with my time, when you actually are not. And it doesn't allow you to be in the present moment. And the present moment is where the joy is. The present moment is where everything's happening. So inherently, the way we always think in the past, we always think in the future, and we cannot get ourselves to think in the present moment. And these devices, that's what they allow us to do. They allow us to go into the future. Oh, where am I going to go? This is what is going to happen. This is what I'm going to see. Let me go take a video. Let me see a video of that place. Let me feel that feeling. Oh, I'm missing my friends. Let me go back again. Let me take a look at my Instagram. So it just allows us to go back and forth in time virtually. I think it's actually, they've done some research on this, and it actually releases that chemical dopamine, right? And which is very addictive. So I think this is exactly what's going on. Is these are just ways these companies have basically addicted people to this device and to these devices, because just like anything else, I think it's become an addiction. And to get rid of an addiction, takes time, right? You have to change your habits. So I think what this company is trying to do is trying to show that, you know what, there is something beyond this. You really don't have to be so engaged and so what's the word? Can't remember the word.
Invested?
Well, you don't have to be so engaged, but now,
Yeah.
without eliminating the actual efficiency of technology.
Yeah, you can actually do both at the same time, and I think like I was saying before, just having the hardware in front of you is what kind of like keeps you okay. I got to check it, right? But if you're easily able to like just check it in the background, have something in the background, I think it will eliminate the need for having some hardware, and it'll also, I think, allow people to be more present. I mean, I think that's what they're going after here. So
I also want to share, it makes me think, Samir, a couple of years ago, I was up north in the mountains. I saw a shooting star. And obviously by the time I went to grab my phone, try to capture it, and it's gone. Yeah. In trying to capture something like that, I'm missing out on the moment itself, right? And another time, 2 years back to back, I've gone to Mont Tremblant in Quebec for ziplining. It's 4,000 meters high. It's like an experience. If you haven't done it, you should try it. The first time I went, I had the Hero 4, or was it Hero 5 at the time? The GoPro. Yeah. And my focus is to capture everything as I'm coming down 4,000 meters, the hike, the whole thing. Really amazing. Had a lot of fun. The second time, I had the GoPro, but it was mounted on my helmet. And I enjoyed every second of it. It was so much better than the first time, even though like one would say, hey, you've already done it. It's not the same.
Yeah.
I enjoyed every second of going down. I enjoyed every second of the hike. I enjoyed every moment even more. Yes, I was capturing it, but because now I was not worried about the angles and how I'm holding it and the resolution, it was a much better experience. So I think about those two examples and I say, I think this is very, very exciting.
Yeah, that's a great example. I didn't think about that. The idea of having, a GoPro, mounted on your helmet and kind of capturing the moment, but you're still enjoying the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, can you just imagine us having our phones out right now and us having this conversation? I'm going to pull out the video app. I'm just going to start recording you. Record me. Let's see how this feels. Let's do a live demonstration here. It's just because I feel like a lot of our communication comes from the phone, and it's just you don't get that same human connection.
I think what's happening immediately is we're all focused on our screen. Am I centered? Is the light correct?
Yeah.
I'm not even looking at you anymore, even though you're there. But I've disconnected with you.
Yeah, and the amount of times you're talking on FaceTime and you see your face in the corner and you're focusing on your face.
You're focusing.
I'll make sure I'm good. Okay. Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah,
it's a completely different feeling.
Well, I think this comes back to the fact that we are not designed. Our brain is not designed to multitask. Right. So just the whole multitask aspect of it is where we lose connection to who we are and what we're doing right now.
Yeah. Did you guys ever see that evolution chart, the evolution of the human? So it started off with a monkey, then it turned into a caveman, then it turned into a human,
and then it goes back,
and then it shows a person on their phone, and that's kind of where things are going right now. But we're probably going to live in the most interesting time period. These past 10 to 15 years have been something else, and it's raised a lot of concerns. And if we're able to get out of this quickly, within 15 years, because everybody assumes that this is only going to get worse, but if they're able to come out with some sort of technology like this, now I want to make this very clear: the Apple Vision Pro, spectacular technology, but this is still something that is in front of you. It's just another piece of technology. It's not a phone. It's a VR headset, right?
It's basically moving your phone from your hand up in front of your eyes.
Yes. And also, with the addition of VR, it's going to completely take you away to some other dimension. Wherever you want to go, it's going to take you there. Yeah. And that's definitely could be a scary place. It could be the Matrix, right? The true Matrix, unless we're not already in it. But I highly doubt it. So I believe that they are working on some sort of technology, that's going to be a combination of AI, machine learning, and computing. And they're obviously working on potentially erasing the physical component from your hand. Now, what's his name again? The CEO, Imran. He recently did a TED Talk. It's about a 10-minute video. We're going to watch it in its full length. And I want to see what you guys think about this technology. Now, again, I mentioned this in the beginning. I believe this is only 5% of what it could potentially be. This company has gained numerous amounts of high-ranking investors. So there's a lot of money being poured into this company. And I don't want us to make too many judgments on what he's about to detail here in this video. But just envision where this could potentially go and how this could better humanity. Akshay, can we play that video on YouTube?
Already on it.
Thank you.
I spent 22 incredible years at Apple, helping to design experiences and devices ranging from the Mac to the iPhone and to the Apple Watch. And as the power of compute increased, the size of our computers or our devices decreased. The desktop paved the way for extraordinary interconnectedness, but it was stuck to your desk. The laptop provided portability, but you still had to be sitting down to use it. And the smartphone evolved us into the modern connected humans we are, providing millions the ability to access the internet from our pockets. And the smartwatch was a window to that phone, a companion device with a whole host of health insights, all shrunk down to your wrist. But what comes next? Some believe AR, VR glasses like these are the answer, but they merely move the screens we already have in our lives today to being just millimeters away from our eyeballs, a further barrier between you and the world. And the future is not on your face. In fact, in 2017, the legendary tech journalist Walt Mossberg wrote in his final column that he felt that soon, one day, technology would become invisible and that the computer would disappear. And we agree. Sorry, this is my wife. I'm gonna have to get this. Hello? Hey, Bethany, how's it going? Yeah, I'm on the red circle right now, actually. I won't, babe. Thank you. And you may ask yourself, why? Why would anybody do this? It's because we love building technology that genuinely makes people's lives better. And we believed that artificial intelligence, or AI, would be the driving force behind the next leap in device design. And there is an incredible amount of stuff that's happening in this space. Huge, huge advancements. And even Bill Gates has said of OpenAI's GPT that it's only the second most revolutionary technology demonstration that he's seen in his entire lifetime. If we get this right, AI will unlock a world of possibility for all of us. And today, I want to share with you what we think is a solution to that end. And it's the first time we're doing so openly. It's a new kind of wearable device, that end platform that's built entirely from the ground up for artificial intelligence. And it's completely standalone. You don't need a smartphone or any other device to pair with it. In fact, I'm wearing one right now. And it interacts with the world the way you interact with the world, hearing what you hear, seeing what you see, while being privacy first and safe, and completely fading into the background of your life. We like to say that the experience is screenless, seamless, and sensing, allowing you to access the power of compute while remaining present in your surroundings. Where can I find a gift for my wife before I have to leave tomorrow?
Granville Island is a lively shopping district.
That's an incredibly simple response for a very complex query. Invisible devices should feel so natural to use that you almost forget about their existence. You'll note that's me and my voice speaking fluent French, using an AI speech model that's part of my own AI. Imagine this. You've been in meetings all day, and you just want a summary of what you've missed. Catch me up.
Patrick is coming to tomorrow's design meeting. Bethany wants to move next week's dinner, and Oliver is asking about soccer this weekend.
These are emails, calendar invites, and messages, all surfaced up to the top. You can use these to help guide your decision-making, manage your workload, and sculpt tailored responses in your own voice and in the context of your life. And we gain this context through machine learning. The more you use our device powered by AI, the more we can help you in all times of need. Let's say you're health conscious, or you have certain types of food considerations. Let me just show you. Picked up one of these chocolates. used to eat a ton of these when I was a kid. Can I eat this?
A milk bar contains cocoa butter. If you're intolerant, you may want to avoid it.
So I can't eat these anymore. But what's cool is my AI knows what's best for me, but I'm in total control. I'm going to eat it anyway.
What a bumps.
What a presentation.
Amazing.
Now, I have a lot of questions to ask here, but he did state that, this is a very minimal example of what this could potentially be. As you saw, he had something in his pocket, and he said, our plan here is to eliminate the physical component, and he takes it out of his pocket and says potentially make it invisible. Now, this is, a very complex subject to talk about in terms of how it could potentially be done. But from what I saw right now is, the idea of, catching up on your day, for example, I want to pose some questions here. He says, let me catch up on my day, and it kind of goes through his to-do list or emails. In today's world right now, like I can't envision, reading my emails, reading all of my messages without looking at a screen. How much information could this compile in one sentence? If they're planning on truly eliminating the physical component here, is it possible to completely eliminate it? Would they be able to solve this issue with regards to emails, for example?
I'm already envisioning a world where you need to see information, because there's five very important pieces that
Let's go through them.
Live off of. One is the ability to see.
Yep.
The ability to hear. The ability to smell. The ability to taste, and the ability to feel or sense. Or did I don't know if I already covered that. But anyway, the intention is not to replace the ability to see with just the ability to hear. I think what's going to happen is eventually, whatever their final product design is, and over the years what they come out with, there will be an aspect of what we saw with the Vision Pro. You will be able to portray it on a table or on the wall or on the palm of your hand, like he did. There will be a component of, hey, I want to read a book. Not everyone's into audiobooks. You want to read. So how do you read? You want to watch content. You still have to consume content. How do you do that? Obviously. So there's going to be a component where there will be the opportunity to see all of the information that we still want to see.
It's just going to be so seamless to the point where it's going to feel like it's invisible.
Correct. And it's going to be tailored to you, right? So for instance, I am now thinking like, hey, I get up, I'm driving to this podcast, and I want to know how long it's going to take, because obviously right now we have something like Google Maps. I want to know what's causing the delay. Is there an accident or weather conditions or what have you? I think that's where it's really powerful, like giving me the information where I need it, as opposed to, today I rely on still having to look at the phone, still asking Siri, and, Siri's great, but it doesn't give you the response naturally. When I get a text message, it doesn't read it out naturally. So the ability to tailor it to who you are is, I think, going to be a really big win. Obviously, this is still in beta, if you want to call it that, but very exciting to see it.
Well, I personally think the hardware has to be there. As if it's going to be small, it's only going to be the size that's going to maybe shrink or whatever. But you still need some sort of hardware. You can't get away from the hardware aspect of it.
Amir,
Well,
so sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
Think about this. How about a ring on your finger? And that can be your phone. Like, you've got a ring on your finger, and like it shows you everything on the palm of your hand, or like something smaller than a pair of sunglasses that could really portray like the visual aspect of it. What do you think about that?
Well, it's still the idea that you still have to wear something,
Yeah,
right? Let's say I'm going swimming, for example. Okay, this can be waterproof and all that stuff, I understand. But his example was, wearing something in your sleeve, side pocket. Not everybody has a sleeve, first of all. But other than that, obviously you can use magnets. But my point is, it still has to be wearable.
As well.
The only option to make it disappear is to put it inside you.
Like, this is a very complex.
That's the only way.
I can't even envision where this might
Yeah.
go.
I mean, and basically you think of it and it's right there, right? It's connected to your thoughts.
Yeah.
That is the most seamless way of, of doing this.
Yeah.
So that part, I think, I'm a bit weary of if that does happen.
Well, you already have the likes of Elon Musk,
Exactly.
right? He talking about Neuralink
Yeah.
and where it can potentially be. From what I hear, it's come a long way with regards to, getting the right patents, getting the permission to even start working on something like this.
Yeah.
It shows you that technology can definitely take this route in terms of going the neural route.
Yeah.
It could.
And if that was the case, then 100% it would be seamless, it would be invisible, and we wouldn't even notice that it was there. But how many people would actually even allow something like that to be
There's a lot.
implanted in their brain? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think AI is cool and all that stuff, but when you're talking about implanting something inside of me, I'm okay. Maybe the next generation, but this current generation still needs a lot of convincing.
And as long as we're around in our purest form, I'll go back to the fact that we still have to see, we still have to hear, we still have to smell, we still have to taste, we still have to feel. Yes?
Yes.
Let's say the phone, obviously we're not covering all 5 of them in any function, but the phone gives me the ability to feel, it gives me the ability to hear, gives me the ability to see. We're not trying to replace everything here. We're trying to find the next best alternative, I think, is where we're going with it. Removing the hardware aspect of it completely may not be as easy as they're aspiring.
I feel like there's no reasoning here. I just had this vision of you're having a debate, or you're having, what do you call it? You're having an argument with an individual, and you're talking about a particular subject, and both of you disagree with one another. You would ask your AI little friend in your pocket, hey, who's right? The AI would say, you're right or they're wrong. And then the other person would ask their AI, hey, who's right? And then all of a sudden the AIs are having their own debate. It's kind of like, are we losing our power to reason here, to have debate, to have conversations amongst one another? Or are we starting to rely on AI way too much?
I think that's going to be a separate podcast on its own, Mike, but I think too much dependence on AI is and can be a very scary thing, because you think about how we're using it today. Yes, it's there, it's fun to use. Imagine a world where we're using it too much and we lose our own ability to think, and we rely on the responses that it gives us to make our decisions. So I think there is a fine balance, and this is probably right now the only company that is trying to go that route, where he takes out the chocolate bar. He says, okay, is this good for me? They say no. Hey, I'm going to have it anyway. He still has the choice. As long as you have the choice, it's okay. The moment you lose the ability to make that choice, and that's a dark path to go down.
Another concern I think he didn't address fully was the privacy. I mean, I could hear everything his wife was saying. I could see the phone, display the phone number. I mean, it has to project onto some hard surface, right?
True.
So,
I mean, what are you going to be wearing? Headphones?
exactly. So
That's probably not the route they're trying to take here, of course.
I know. The best product for me personally was Google Glass. I think that was the best implementation of being able to see what you want to see, being able to hear what you want to hear, getting the information that you want, while maintaining privacy at the same time, without getting an implant.
yeah, exactly.
So
I think that would be where you can actually take it to. That just the whole making it less bulky, making it more fashionable, whatever.
Yeah.
But the privacy aspect, I mean, it was totally ignored, I think.
I think that's huge.
And this technology that he's talking about, where it projected right onto his hand, this was actually invented about 4 or 5 years ago by this Indian guy at MIT.
I think I've seen something in the past.
Yeah. So
projection stuff.
So this technology is already there, and so they're just incorporating all these different technologies. They're talking about how you can translate what you're speaking into a different language. This is already there. So they're just putting all this stuff together into a very tiny device, with a projector and a camera and something with the device where you can hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I still don't see the power of it.
Time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is very easily, it can be duplicated very easily.
Yeah.
And I don't feel the power in it. But I think, that, like you said, that's just, maybe they don't want to really tell us. They just want to give us a hint. And they don't want to let it, I mean, this has been a secret project, right? Basically, right? What's going on?
They started the company in 2017, so they've been working on it for the past 5 years.
5
now.
years.
And they probably have a lot more to
more.
disclose,
Exactly, like you were saying.
So, I mean, we could talk about this subject for days and days and days. I think this is a very complex subject, to be honest.
We're gonna have to keep an eye on this one for the months to come.
Not many people know Humane, and I think they're an exciting company to watch, to see how they grow over time. And, they've only released just glimpses of what this could potentially be. So this is very exciting stuff. We're going to continue on today's podcast. Hackers threaten to leak 80 gigabytes of confidential data stolen from Reddit. Now, we talked a little bit about Reddit last week. Some new news to disclose here. Hackers known as Black Cat Ransomware Gang, however you pronounce that, are threatening to release confidential data stolen from Reddit. Now, we can pull up an article here. We can briefly read what's going on here. Can we scroll down a little bit?
This happened in February. So
yeah, but so I'll give you a quick rundown of what's going on here. So hackers, known as Black Cat, blah, blah, blah. The data was stolen during the breach of Reddit's system in February. The hackers claim to have 80 gigabytes of compressed data from the breach. Reddit confirmed the cyber incident in February, stating that the hackers assessed employee information and internal documents through a targeted phishing attack. There is no evidence that personal user data, such as passwords and accounts, was stolen during the breach. Reddit has not provided further details about the attack or the identity of the hackers. Black Cat has taken full responsibility for the February intrusion and has threatened to leak the confidential data stolen during the breach. The specific types of data stolen have not been disclosed, and no evidence of data has been by the theft has been shared. Black Cat was also involved in a March attack on Western Digital, where they stole 10 terabytes of data, including customer information, and threatening to leak data from Amazon-owned Ring. Black Cat claims to have contacted Reddit twice, in April and now in June. This is why this is a new topic right now, especially in the fire of what's going on. And they still haven't received a response from Reddit. And the hackers are demanding $4.5 million from Reddit in exchange for deleting the stolen data, number one, and number two, for Reddit to revert its API price changes. Now, it's kind of like it's revisiting Reddit at the right time. They're kind of vulnerable right now. I hit you in February. Let me just remind you while you're vulnerable. I'm going to release that data, and I want my money. And make sure you reverse the API integration charges. Now,
I think that's a play to get people on their side, more or less, as well. Like play the sympathy card of, okay, we're kind of on your side, even though we're going to get away with $4.5 million.
Great move by the hacker, by the way. Smart move, well planned, great chess move. Now, so let's touch base on last week. Reddit started to charge its users for API access. The Redditors are, as a mass, started to either close down their accounts or privatize their Reddit, so nobody can access them. Later, the CEO started to forcibly reopen these Reddits, causing even more chaos in the Reddit community. Now, I don't know if this is a smart move for the CEO. I was kind of on the side of, cool, charge for API integration as long as there's value. But I feel like he's definitely taking the wrong approach. He's making it worse. And if you were the CEO, if you were in his position, would you have done things differently, Omar?
Yeah, I think it's very important for any company, any leadership team to understand that you don't take on the internet. you understand why they're responding to what has happened. You try to gather as much data. You try to understand how you can mitigate the risk. You can talk about finding alternative solutions. But when you come down on making a decision like this, you're really saying, hey, I don't care. And in this day and age, I don't think there's a company out there that can survive with the I don't care approach. So I think, yeah, definitely, we're going to see a change in this approach.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with him. I think it's a very egocentric move. I mean, he's just like, who I am, and he's trying to be a bully. And he thinks he's got more power and influence than he actually has. And so I believe that it's not going to pan out for him.
There was this one Twitter. How do you call it? Tweeters?
Tweet.
Or one tweet. He released this tweet saying, "Everybody, let's come together and start uploading 1 gigabyte of sound, a video of sound." I'm sure you guys know what sound looks like. And his intentions were very clear. They wanted to crash the servers. And now the CEO has to look his investors in the eye and say, right before they're about to go IPO, this is what we became. This is what we turned into. And look at where we were. And it's quite unfortunate where things are going, because I feel like there's a lot of great CEOs out there that just know how to handle situations. And I feel like there's more of a personal connection with the people. To be honest with you, when you say the word Reddit, I didn't even know how the guy looked like a week ago, prior to this conversation coming about. And you look at CEOs like Elon Musk, whenever there's an issue, he will tell you exactly how it is. And I feel like he has an honest tone behind his intentions. And sometimes it's something you might disagree with, or something that you might agree with. Regardless, it's an honest tone. And in my opinion, I feel like that's the route a CEO has to take in order to engage with his people, regardless on the decisions that they're going to make. It's kind of like you're always going to ride or die with that company.
Right.
I believe in him. I feel like he's being honest and genuine, regardless of whatever he wants to do with Twitter, with Tesla, with whatever company Elon is currently working on. I'm going to ride or die with him because I believe in his vision.
Yeah. I just want to add, it's not just Elon. You think about the Samsung fiasco. We all know what it is. I mean, it didn't happen too long ago. Like their Note series of phones started to explode.
Yeah.
And the leadership team then as well just came forward and said, hey, this is on us, and we apologize, and we promise we will make this better. In the interim, here's a refund or a replacement device that we can offer you. Since then, they have been very transparent about, hey, this is our 7 or 8 step battery check process that we go through. It's a rigorous testing process that all of our phones go through. And though that was like a really big deal, and we still haven't forgotten that this happened, we're willing to let them go. Why? Because they took the ownership, they fixed the problem, and they were not arrogant about it. I think that's really, really important. Doesn't matter what company you're leading or what team you're a part of. I think the integrity as well as the ability to be yourself, don't forget who you are, goes a very long way. And it's unfortunate that it didn't happen in this case. But Samir, what are your thoughts?
How would you have taken care of the situation?
Yeah, I believe I agree with Umar. Just the word arrogance really stands out.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I think the CEO has taken it personally, and that's the biggest mistake. You can't take these things personally, especially when you're a CEO of such a big company. So I think that's a big flaw, and it's going to cost him.
Yeah, he's in a very difficult situation. I don't think he's ever had to deal with anything like this or to this magnitude before. And, Reddit's been a very quiet company. It's been in the background. really heavily used by its users, and we'll see what he's going to do here. It's a very interesting story to uncover, and we'll keep track of what's going on. But
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to what we were talking about as far as the hacker situation.
Oh, that's a good point. The hacker.
I think that what's going on with them is, $4.5 million is nothing. It's not that much money. So I think that Reddit is not really taking that threat seriously, and that's why.
Should they be?
I don't believe they should, because, just the way the internet is now, privacy is not really, like, it's so easy to get information these days. You don't need to be a hacker to get this kind of information. So, unfortunately, I think that just the ease with which people can now access information, and people, like, what are you going to do with somebody's address or phone number, or where they live, or where they shop? It's all easily accessible. So I don't think it holds the value. I don't think it holds the kind of value that I think it used to, and I think that's why it's not $4.5 million, and I don't see this going anywhere.
Fair enough. I'd like to briefly speak about the incident we had last week. Now, last week, I believe we had probably, for me personally, one of the most enjoyable conversations I've had in a while. We spoke about a lot of cool topics. What did we uncover last week? Do you remember?
Yeah, we kind of recapped the vision pros. We talked about AI, the risks of AI, living in a world where, it's taken over. A world without the internet we talked about as well. And I think it was a very, very interesting conversation that we had, because we weren't prepared for it.
Yeah, regardless, I think it was a very interesting conversation. And I was stoked, to listen to this conversation. But the moment we finished, we plugged in the hard drive into the computer, and we opened up the video file of the podcast. And all of a sudden, I couldn't hear any sound coming out of the video. And I tried everything. I'm like, is something wrong? Are we on mute? Let me reopen it on a different computer. Let me plug it in here. What's going on? Oh my God, what happened here? Turns out the vocals were never recorded. And, we were deeply disappointed. Me personally, deeply disappointed. And I don't know who it was that, said, are you sure there's no other sound files anywhere in the folders? I don't know if it was me or Akshay or whatever, but we looked into the folders that were recording the data, and we found this one folder called sound files or audio files. So we opened it up, and we found the recordings of our vocals recorded from the actual physical cameras, as you guys can't see here, but they're filming us right now. And as you guys know, the quality of these audio, the quality of this audio is not that good. There's a lot of background noise, and it just sounds very unprofessional. It kind of sounds like you're on a roller coaster and you're trying to record a video, and then you're listening to the sound. It literally sounds like that, especially, like Omar is sitting all the way back here, and, the camera's really far from him, so it's really hard to pick up that noise. So we're like, man, this is not good audio. This sucks. Are we going to have to... I was so devastated to the point I was like, let's get back in there. Let's re-record this. Man. But obviously, we knew that we could never, get that same type of energy, get the same type of conversations, engagement. We can never duplicate that type of stuff. So we were, standing around in disbelief. And then Akshay's like, there's enhancing software out there. There's enhancing software out there. We could try it out. You know?
AI.
Well, we didn't know.
Oh.
Let's take it one step at a time, you know? I'm like, and me knowing, you know, what old school technology can do, enhance it, what is that? Raise up the volume? I didn't believe it. You know, I thought it would, you know, there's a lot of enhancing software out there. It's just complete rubbish. And I don't think it's really worth the time. But later that night, I did a little bit of digging and I did a little bit of research. And I came across this software, which is built by Adobe. Adobe, huge company. You know, they've built the likes of Photoshop, Adobe Premiere for video editing, stuff like that. So they're a very big company. And they currently have a software that's called Podcast AI. It's in beta mode right now. And it said that it can enhance your voice using AI. So when I saw that, the next morning, I'm like, I'm going to test this stuff out. I want to see where this goes. So the next morning, I wake up, I'm like, okay, I got to test this out. I got to see what happens here. So I uploaded it. It was about a 1 hour clip or so. And it took about 10 minutes to render and, you know, go through its processing. And then it finished. And then I clicked the play button. Listened to the audio, and it still sounded the same. So I'm like, what the hell is this? This is not what I wanted. But then right to the side, it said, enhance. You had to click the little button. So I clicked enhance. And then all of a sudden, it sounded beautiful. It exceeded my expectations. Now, was it perfect? No. Can it be perfect? Oh, yes. Now, I'll tell you why it wasn't perfect. I feel like this type of software is meant for me recording my voice onto my phone and then uploading those clear vocals onto the software where it would clean it up and make it sound very professional. Now, I find that my voice was a little bit better than Omar's voice because I was a little bit closer to the actual camera that we were recording on. And I found that, you know, the further you are away, the more work it has to do. So it actually made it sound like an AI, believe it or not. It made it sound very robotic and not human. But at the end of the day, it was better than that other piece of audio. And I wouldn't have it any other way. What I would like to demonstrate for you guys today, because I think this is super beneficial and very important. And we're actually going to use it in our business every single day. Now, believe it or not, if this hasn't happened, I wouldn't have known about this software. And we probably won't use it for our future videos. But you're probably listening to this conversation right now, and we probably rendered these vocals so you can... Oh, is this an example over here?
Yeah, we got an example.
Okay, so I'm going to do a live recording off of my phone. And I want you guys to see how this technology actually works. So let's pull up the recording application.
Are you going to airdrop it to me, or do you want me to?
I'm going to airdrop it to you, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start recording here. Welcome to the Flipaforum podcast. My name is Michael, and I am your host. And today we're testing out this new software built by Adobe Podcast AI. An incredible tool. You guys should definitely check it out. Link will be in the bio down below. I'm also going to get you guys to say a couple of things on the phone. So we're going to have some in the middle over here. You guys just...
I just want to make sure you're not marketing for them, because that was scripted really, really well.
Yeah, was it? I'm telling you now, I am not endorsing them. We are not sponsors. But hey, Adobe, if you want to sponsor us, by all means, let's do it. Say something. Anything else?
Yeah, I just wanna see how this really makes such a big difference.
Okay.
So let's check it out.
So I just finished the recording here, okay? And the recording is about 50 seconds, so it'll take about 2 minutes to actually render this file. So let me get this file, share it, airdrop. Your airdrop is on?
Let me check. Yep, airdrop is on.
Oh, so you're going to accept it. And then you're going to change the video file name. You know how it says at the end something?
What would we do without Adobe Premiere?
Cut out videos. You can cut paper. You can cut your next wife.
Cut paper.
Ex-wife. Still working on the first one.
We're definitely
That was quick. That was quick. We're ready to go.
okay. First, let's
So unenhanced. This is unenhanced. I'm gonna play it. Okay.
okay. Let's play the unenhanced sound.
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to the Flipaforum podcast. My name is Michael, and I am your host. And today we're testing out this new software built by Adobe Podcast AI, an incredible tool. You guys should definitely check it out. Link will be in the bio down below. I'm also going to get you guys to say a couple of things on the phone. So we're going to have some in the middle over here. You guys just
I
kind of,
just want to make sure you're on marketing for them because that was scripted really, really well.
yeah, was it? I'm telling you now, I am not endorsing them. We are not sponsors. But hey, Adobe, if you want to sponsor us, by all means, let's do it. All right, let's stop it over there. So
Now the enhanced.
So now before we continue, you guys can clearly hear, the background noise, and especially when I took the phone away from my mouth, the voice got worse and worse. Now let's listen to the enhanced version. Go ahead. Welcome to the Flipaforum podcast. My name is Michael, and I am your host. And today we're testing out this new software built by Adobe Podcast AI, an incredible tool. You guys should definitely check it out. Link will be in the bio down below. I'm also going to get you guys to say a couple of things on the phone. So we're going to have some in the middle over here. You guys just
I
kind of,
just want to make sure you're on marketing for them because that was scripted really, really well.
yeah, was it? I'm telling you now, I am not endorsing them. We are not sponsors. But hey, Adobe, if you want to sponsor us, by all means, let's do it. Say something. Anything else?
Yeah, I just want to see how this will need.
He sounds like Robert Kennedy.
That's true. So that's true.
You know, I gotta say, like the noise, like the aspect,
cuts it out.
It cuts it out completely.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
No, this is.
But does it do the fill-in?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it does, but I feel like the further away your voice gets, the more robotic it gets. But nonetheless, I think it's an amazing tool that, anybody can use to, if you ever wanted to start a podcast, start off with a basic phone or some headphones, and you can start right away. You don't have to get all this crazy stuff unless you really want to. We really wanted it. We did it, But that's that. We're going to continue going forward for today's podcast. So I have an exciting awards show on today's podcast. We're going to talk about the top mobile phones in every category. So this is kind of like the Grammys for every single category. I haven't looked into any of these questions. I did create these questions, but I didn't think about these questions. So we're going to do everything on the live spot. And I think it would be fun to bring out our best friends over here, the whiteboards. Can we bring them out? And I'm going to ask these questions one by one. And we are going to answer them one by one. And we're also going to explain why we decided to choose that cellular device.
I think I'm good, Mike.
Okay. Do we all have erasers? No, you don't. Okay. So, are you guys ready? This is not the trivia. This is the award show.
I can ask the question.
Sure. Actually, that would be amazing. Let's do that.
So, for the award of best designed phone, what would you guys say it is?
So the best overall design on a phone. And mind you, I want to make this very clear. This can be any phone in history, but obviously every year it just gets better and better, right? Yeah. But we'll stick to the first question. The best overall design on a phone.
I'm curious to see. What was that? Yeah, you can do more than one. Yeah.
No, you can't. You got to choose one.
Oh, you got to choose one. Okay.
You think the Grammys is like, we're going to give it to Drake and we're going to give it to The Weeknd.
You both
And
win.
Bad Bunny. Everybody wins. We all care.
I'm curious to see what answers you guys come up with. I feel like it's going to be different for each person.
The best design. Now, I also want all of us to not be biased here. Like I'm an Apple user. Samir's an Apple user. Omar is also primarily an Apple user, but he uses Samsung more than us. But I want us to, not be biased here. We want to be genuine about our responses because we're gonna have to explain why.
And is this all time or of this year?
I think it would be better to talk about the latest.
The latest, okay.
Yeah, because they're technically getting better in design regardless. I don't see the point. You're not gonna say.
Or the next, like within the next 3 years, like these.
I'm
3
gonna
years.
share like all time as well, just because.
Okay.
there's this.
Okay, that's fair. Look,
Okay.
we can do all time and we can talk current as well. So
Fair enough.
current, I'm going to have to go with. Let's see.
There should be a time limit. You guys take
Yeah,
to
we're
it.
good.
I know.
Omar, you can go first.
Okay, I did say that I was gonna share two. I'm gonna share the best design of all time for me personally was the Nokia 8600 Luna.
Okay.
And the reason why it was way ahead of its time. It had it was one of those sliding phones, like with the physical keyboard.
The old school flip, like you
Yeah. I don't know if you can pull it up, an image of the phone, but the keyboard was backlit behind tinted like glass or whatever they had, like, and it used to breathe. It had this ability to breathe and share notifications using like light. I love that phone. I still have it. I have.
Nokia, what was the?
It's called the 8600 Luna. You just type in 8600. There was only one. I love that phone so much. I still have two of those. There it is.
Yeah, I remember that. That kind of reminds me of the LG chocolate.
Yeah. You think about if you look at the keyboard, it's hidden behind the glass, but you can still see it. And that was like a really, really, I think, cool design to have. Fast forward to current day smartphones, I think the 14 Pro, this one, the smaller one, I have the bigger one, so I can confidently say that the smaller one is very, very comfortable. It has the best design. It is a joy to actually use. Back when the iPhone 4 came out, I said this to myself, hey, like, I wish there was an iPhone that looked like the iPhone 4, but only bigger. And we have it. So I think the iPhone 14 Pro for me.
Fair enough. Mike, for me, I would have to go, historically speaking, the best overall design was the Nokia N95. I love the N95. That was probably my favorite phone.
Yeah.
And I had originally the silver one. I know that's the OG. And I ended up changing the body.
To black.
No.
To the-
No. Black was the second OG. I changed it to a custom red.
Oh, you did?
I thought it was like so cool to have a unique looking N95. And this is the first phone, I believe, that was able to slide both frontwards and backwards, or side right to left. And this is actually one of the first phones that got me into the type of business that I'm in right now. It just inspired me to, get into the tech business and take it from there. And for the current phone, I'm going to have to agree with Omar here and say the 14 Pro Max. Now, I said the 14 Pro Max specifically, but you can easily say the 14 Pro falls into that category as well, because it all depends on, your comfort level. Like, a lot of people prefer to have a bigger phone in their hand. A lot of people prefer to have a smaller phone in their hand. In terms of actual design, they're both identical. One is just slightly a lot more bigger than the other. So I'm going to say the 14 Pro / the 14 Pro Max for that reason. It is a beautiful phone. It's very premium. Great weight. Love the colors that they came out with. Just design-wise, beautiful, simple, premium. That's all I have to say. Samir?
Hey, so for me, I would go with the Samsung Galaxy. Yeah, I think it was the S2 or the S1.
The S1?
The S.
I like that. That's OG shit.
Okay.
Let's see this. Oh, you like
Okay, let me ask you this. You had this one?
I had it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You think this was the best design ever?
Well, I think. I mean,
It's subjective. I mean,
I'm just asking the question again. I want to make it clear. This is the best design ever on a phone.
well,
Why? Please explain why. Because I disagree.
it has a camera.
it has a camera. Okay, let me ask you this. Have you seen the Note 4? I think it's very similar, but again, that's me, at least, if we're going back that far.
You said the Galaxy S2 as well. I can pop that one.
S2.
Maybe that's the one. Maybe we're
S2.
I don't even.
No, but Samir said because it had a camera. Like,
True.
okay. So this
That's
also
a
has
little bit nicer looking,
yeah,
I would say. Yeah.
It's just a better quality photo. I honestly disagree with Samir, but I respect his
Was that your first touchscreen phone that you used?
yeah, but this is not supposed to be like an emotional connection here.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll put it like this: I completely disagree because I think it's a shitty looking phone. But but I want to hear why. Why do you, is there like some sort of human like emotional connection here? Like, why do you like this piece of crap? Like, let's be honest. Like, am I wrong here? Like, this is horrible.
Okay, like full disclosure,
Is this a joke? Are we in April Fools right now?
I don't think he's joking. I had the S3 originally as my first company provided phone, and I hated the design so much I drove my car on it, and I told them it broke.
Oh my god.
You're telling me
But,
this
yeah.
design is better than a Note 20 you previously had in 2020.
No, well, you're talking about going back. I mean,
Well, but we're talking about
The best overall design.
of all time.
You know, that's why we both gave our like historical example, and I think something that was revolutionary in design.
Yep.
And then we also gave our current.
I would say the iPhone 3 was revolutionary in design.
I thought the iPhone 3 was actually a good looking phone.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm very slim. I hear the word sexy.
well, this is prior to the iPhone coming out. It was just what I really wanted was something where I could browse the internet.
So it was
The
the best.
BlackBerry Passport.
Yeah.
Or-
It was just
What was it called? Yeah.
It was the best looking phone at the time. you're
yeah. I
saying.
remember you remember the BlackBerry. Right?
Yeah, I remember the
No,
Blackberry.
Blackberries looked very premium though. I
Yeah.
like those.
I think the
The one with the little ball on it, and you
Yeah.
to move. Yeah, that was sick.
You know what's another really good looking phone that I had on my list was the OnePlus 8 Pro.
Oh,
I thought
don't you have any of those left? Actually,
no,
in the
I know,
cameras?
but I think OnePlus kind of went downhill from there. But
yeah,
their OnePlus 8 Pro phones were just so simple, clean, beautiful phones. Probably the best phone.
and not just that, Mike. The quality.
Yes,
That
That's
camera.
that's exactly what I meant. Like in terms of quality, it just felt like, is this the next Apple? Like they were honestly on my number 1/2 in terms of Android tier list. I have Samsung, Google. What do we have next? We have so many different Android companies, but they're just kind of all bundled into one.
Mm-hmm.
But previously, I had Samsung and OnePlus, bouncing 1 and 2 for me.
Yep.
So that's what I was kind of debating on. But Samir, do you have any current phones that you like the design on?
I was actually checking out the Flip, Oppo Flip.
Yeah.
The Find N2 Flip. Is that the one you're referring to?
The latest one, whatever.
I think that's the one. I could be wrong. The Find N2 Flip is what it's called. I could be wrong.
How do you spell that?
The Find, N for Nancy, and the number 2. Flip.
You know what's another good looking phone? The Nothing phone.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That the one?
Yeah. So what I liked about this was just being able to have the phone closed, and it doesn't take up so much space.
You're gonna love the Flip 5. Have you seen the render of the Flip 5?
I'm hearing no gaps.
No, I have not.
I'm hearing that.
You should see this
Should
front.
I pop it up?
Please.
Are we talking about no gaps?
No gaps, yes,
Yeah.
but the front screen is just, I think that phone's gonna sell really well this year.
Yeah. So I mean, that's for me. That just to be able to flip and to be able to see everything.
That one maybe actually like the
This one right here?
no maybe this one or the one next to it both. Yeah, I think that's the closest render. You look at that. That's like
That would be
sharp.
nice. That's a beauty. That's something Apple would make.
That's a sharp look. I think Z Flip 5 colors where you've got like right underneath that one. I think that
Wow, they are beautiful looking phones.
and I think they are integrating Google Maps and a lot of apps to actually work on it.
I feel like
So-
they're going with like the Apple branding with this. It
Yeah.
kind of looks very similar to Apple and with the text and with the colors and everything.
Right.
Yeah. I just like compact. It's so compact, and everything is right there. You can see whatever notifications you got. I mean, you got that on iPhone as well, but just the compact.
I think
aspect
knowing
kinda
you,
like
you've
that.
always been regular Pro.
Yeah.
Pro user, and this is the first year you've gone to a Pro Max. Any reason why?
No, I had the XS Max.
You had the XS Max. Okay.
Yeah, I had the XS Max as well.
Well, I've seen you only with the Pros.
Well, the reason why we always go to the Pro Max because we want the best. We want the best of the best. I actually have a 14 Pro Max and a 13 Pro. I didn't go for a 14 Pro.
Yeah.
I didn't find the
What
point.
color is your 13 Pro?
It's a graphite.
Yeah, good choice.
Okay, so can we go to the next?
Yeah, the next question. Yeah, we're reaching an hour and 43 minutes.
Oh, we're going to Joe Rogan's level. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
go.
Okay.
We got a lot of stuff to cut out, though.
All right. Best camera on a phone. The award for the best camera on a phone of all time. What would you think the best camera is?
Well, the cameras are getting better.
Better,
every single year, so it has to be a
I'm
recent
gonna do
phone.
both. Like I'm just gonna do like of all time and current.
Okay.
Like up until now, we had like really good cameras as well.
Well, I'm gonna say current. I think we should give the award for the best camera on a phone to this date.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just to save time too.
I'll be quick. I just can't help myself. You had to pick like this topic, so anyway. Okay, I am good.
All right. Should I go first this time?
Sure, please.
Okay. I went with the Samsung S23 Ultra.
Yep.
They clearly have the best camera in the game today, and especially with their what is it called?
Astrophotography.
Astrophotography lens. Just takes it to the next level. I feel like a lot of companies out there are trying to catch up to Samsung's level. Now, there's a lot of companies out there, such as Google and Apple, of course, who always bounce back and forth in terms of who has the best camera. But if we're talking about in current terms, Samsung S23 Ultra is a league of its own. That is absolutely true. And I'm going to stick to that answer.
Okay, good answer. I just went with two answers. I'll be quick, Akshay. So the Nokia 1020 and the Nokia N8 were probably the best phones for a very, very long time. But again, I will have to say S23 Ultra today is really amazing as well. That phone probably held.
That's a very cool looking.
This is the one right here, and this phone was still competing with the 13 Pros and the 14 Pros just because the camera was.
Is this the phone that was running on Microsoft?
Yes, it is.
It's a very unique looking. I've never seen a phone like this.
I've not seen this.
It looks like a camera mixed in with the phone.
I don't think it did too well. I don't think any Microsoft devices did.
The phone may not have done well, but it was really, really, really praised for its camera. So
Fair enough.
It looks like a camera more than a
it is,
phone.
yeah. I can say that.
Samir, what do you got?
I also have the S23 Ultra,
Okay.
and I have the Google Pixel as well.
Google Pixel 7 Pro, latest. Yeah, okay, that's a good choice. If you have to give it to one, who are you going to choose?
Ultra.
S23 Ultra for me as well.
Ultra by far. Okay, we're going to go for the next question here. Best flagship phone out today.
Easy.
Now, best flagship is the best top-of-the-line phone within a brand. So I'm not going to go name them all, but...
Easy answer
Yeah.
for me. And there will be one answer this time, so.
Okay. Samir, you got one?
14.
Okay.
14 Pro Max.
14 Pro Max is one.
I think everyone knows what that one looks like. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so next question. This is a unique one. Best budget phone. So, obviously this can be any phone that is out within the past 5 years.
Oh.
It could be whatever you want it to be. Best budget phone. Like right now we have some budget phones to name. For example, we got a bunch of Samsungs within the A series. They have the A54s. They have the A14s or 13s. Not sure where they're at with that.
the Pixel.
We got the Pixel 7As or 6As, and then we got the iPhone SEs. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a different answer here. But did everybody choose one device? The best budget phone.
I chose the SE, iPhone SE.
iPhone SE. Why?
It's got the technology, it's got the hardware, it's got the ability to do updates, and it's an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that it's an Apple iPhone just
Mhm.
gives it so much credibility.
Mm-hmm.
For me, as far and as it relates to price.
I wouldn't agree with that because the iPhone SE is the iPhone 6 done 6 times over.
Yeah.
I would probably go with the Samsung A74.
Nice choice.
Which-
Very
yeah.
good choice. Okay.
Yeah. I think it gives you everything you need in a compact.
Okay, so I would take a little bit of a different approach here. I would say a phone that wasn't initially considered a budget phone when it first came out, but now it has significantly dropped in price. If you're somebody in the market for a very good device that's not too expensive, I would recommend an iPhone 12. Now, why would I recommend an iPhone 12? Yes, it's an older device. You probably can't buy them brand new anymore, but there's tons in the market that are in great condition with great battery health. And if you look at the shape and the overall design of the iPhone 12 versus the current phone, which is the iPhone 14, they look nearly identical. Now, the cameras have slight upgrades on the 14, but you're looking at the price comparison, it's like almost half of the price. And I would say I see more value in purchasing an older device, which is better than the iPhone SE, if you ask me, which is better than a lot of, these new phones that they're releasing. Like, for example, I would rather go with a Google 6 Pro than a Google 7a. That's another example. Or I'd rather go with a 13 Pro Max than an iPhone 14, right? The iPhone 13 Pro Max and the iPhone 14, almost identical in price, but the 13 Pro Max is just severely better, right? So that would be my advice is go for the older models if you're looking to save a little bit of money, and you'll get almost the same specs. A lot of people like to upgrade to the latest models when it's really not necessary. So that would be my best budget phone.
I think that's an excellent answer. The iPhone 12 gives you the same shape, more or less the same interface, more or less the same design for half the price. So if you're a new iPhone user, I'm gonna say it. Go to flipaphone.com.
Yeah, absolutely. FLIPAFONE.com. Flipaphone.com. All right, guys, let's get going on to the next question here. Best value phone.
If this can be last 5 years.
Yeah, it could be anything.
We got it.
You want to go first on this one, or should I?
You can go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to go with the 13 Pro Max.
Okay.
Why? If you're going to look at the best phone out right now, I think it's not much to argue here. It's the 14 Pro Max. In design, functionality, just everything is just super premium. And then if you look at the last year's model, the 13 Pro Max, the 13 Pro Max rather, the only major differences are primarily a slightly better upgrade on the camera and the dynamic island at the top. Everything else is pretty much the same. So if you're looking at the 13 Pro Max and you see it has the same refresh rate as the 14 Pro Max, almost same battery health, almost same camera as well. Like everything right across the board, is almost identical. And then you look at the prices on these 14 Pro Maxes. They're very expensive devices. They're north of $1,400 for the base model. But if you're looking to get something like a pre-owned, you can probably even get new 13 Pro Maxes out in the market right now. But if you're looking to get one, you could probably get them for around $1,000-ish. And what I would recommend is go for a 13 Pro Max. You would save almost $300 to $400 for the exact same phone. So that would be the best value device that I would recommend.
I would agree with you. However, what has happened this year, and maybe this is the first time I'm experiencing this, is the 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max have held on to their value the longest. We're now almost at the end of the cycle, and they're still holding on to their value. And because the phone is hard to get in certain markets, what has happened is the 13 Pro and Pro Max have also retained much of their value from last year.
Very true.
Now, when we talk about best value, I would have said yes, absolutely, 13 Pro Max. It was maybe $200, $300 cheaper. However, you factor in something like price, and that's a big factor as to why people would go in for last year's model. I would say, for me personally, I would say the S21 Ultra, because it is the last phone that doesn't look like a Note. There's a large appeal for Android out there. Unless you want an iPhone, then there's no question. But if you don't care, then It's got a great camera, 5,000 milliamp hour battery. It has got probably the telephoto lens we're all raving about and we still need on the iPhone. It's great in low light settings. And all in all, like, it's a really, really comfortable phone to hold. So if you are going for a phone that is the best value for me personally is the S21 Ultra, because you can use it for a year or two. And then even then, the design is timeless. That's the last phone that came in that design. So
Yeah, now I would completely agree with your answer. I think that's a phenomenal phone. They've also dropped in price a lot over the past couple of months. They used to be north of $600, $700 initially, and now you can get them for around $500. That all happened within the last couple of months. And, I will completely agree with your answer. The one thing that I would like to mention about Apple versus, Android or Samsung is if you are going to go with an Apple device, please keep in mind that your phone's value will be held for a further amount of for a longer amount of time versus a Samsung. So if you're talking about value and you're someone that wants to upgrade your device every single year, if you're going to go with the 13 Pro Max, rest assured you're going to get a good return when you're about to sell it. If you're going with a device like Samsung, you're probably going to lose a lot of money within a year, and the value of the phone would decrease tremendously. Samir, do you have any advice on people looking to get a phone that has good value?
I would agree with 13 Pro Max. From everything you just mentioned, I think it's not too old. It's very, very recent, and it's got everything that a 14 has.
Yeah.
And so I think, as far as price is concerned, as far as durability, as far as just the excellent quality of camera it's got, I would go with 13 Pro Max.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny, you didn't bring up the S22 Ultra, and I feel like the S21 Ultra is just such a cheap phone, and you're getting more than 80% of what the S22 Ultra has. But when you're looking at the 12 Pro Max versus a 13 Pro Max, for example, because we're talking about a last year's device on Apple side and a 2-year-old device on Samsung side, I feel like there's more of a jump between the 12 Pro Max versus the 13 Pro Max versus the S21 Ultra competing with the S22 Ultra.
True.
Right? I mean, the 12 Pro Max, I wouldn't recommend. I feel like the camera and the
60
refresh
hertz is
60 hertz. It's just not it's not the best value in my opinion. And they're not too far apart in price. But I think we both gave some good examples on both the Android side and the iPhone side, and I think people,
And as we're recording today, the price of, I think, an S21 Ultra is somewhere in the same ballpark as an 11 Pro Max. So when you're making that purchase decision, just keep in mind multiple factors to consider.
Okay, and we got one more question here, and this question is for the people that are not looking to buy this phone, and this is going to be the bust of the year. We're going to choose the bust of the year. Now, when I say year, we're also gonna include devices from last year because we're kind of mid-season, so not too many things came out this year. So we're gonna look at 2022 and 2023 as a whole. Bust of the year.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, I think I got one.
Yeah, I got mine too.
Omar, you want to go?
I can go first.
Yeah.
For me, okay, so just a little bit of a history channel here. I've been using the foldables, all of them, since they came out. And I was at Samsung, I remember, when I got the Fold 3, and they were taking all these pictures and giving me all these gifts. It was really nice. When I went to get the Fold 4, I was like, that's it? That's it? And that's going to happen again this year. I might skip it for the first time. But the Fold 4 and the Flip 4 were, I think, they were not incremental upgrades. They were basically the same phone with the same camera, just like an upgraded chipset. And I think that's going to happen again this year. And I think as a consumer, we need to be cognizantly aware of the fact that we're not just going to buy it because it's a new model. There has to be enough value in the phone.
Yeah.
If the Fold 5 comes out with a 200 megapixel camera, yes, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I will still buy it, and then I'll sell it to you a week later.
I also went with the Flip 4 specifically. I'll tell you why. Now, if you go to, Samsung's website right now, Samsung is one of those companies that likes to, put their phones on discount once in a while. Let me just go check out Samsung Flip 4. So right now, the Samsung Flip 4 is up for sale for... Sorry, guys. Let me just bring it up here. No, it's okay. I got it here.
While you pull that up, a friend of mine a couple months ago wanted a Fold 4 brand new for his girlfriend. We paid $1,340-ish for a brand new Fold 4 with a trade-in. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So let me just show you what's going on here. So the Flip 4, I'm gonna go with the cheapest option. Okay.
Sure.
Currently on the Samsung website, and I believe this is the Canadian website because it's gonna be Canadian prices. $1,259.99. Now, this device can also go up until... Oh, they don't even have those devices available, but I would assume over, $1,600. Now, this is not even including tax, okay? I'm going to tell you now, this is such a bad device and definitely not worth its value, and it's the biggest bust of the year. You can easily get a Flip 3 right now for like $300, $400. Why the hell would I buy the exact same phone for $1,000 more?
Yeah.
I would never do that. So, I mean, if you still want to buy one, we got them for sale. But keep in mind, we do not have those same prices. We have very good prices. I mean, let's be real here. The Flip 4, it's a great phone, but it's just way too expensive for what it is. And it's using just such old technology that they've already invented in the Flip 3 and the Flip 5G. It's all identical.
Yeah.
There's nothing new about it. I mean, Samir, what do you think? What's the bust of the year here for you?
For me, it's the iPhone 14.
Is it?
That's a good choice. The 14, the regular 14.
Oh, the regular
I like
14.
that. Can you explain?
Yes, it is.
The regular 14 is a 13 Pro Max.
No, it's not. The regular 14 is an iPhone 13.
Yeah, 13 Pro Max. Yeah,
13 Pro Max. That's better.
The 13 Pro Max is by far better. Yeah. But I would agree with him that I would actually change his answer if you don't mind. I just want to elaborate a little bit on it. I would put the 14 Plus on there. Now, 14 Plus was the first addition to the iPhone family in terms of, not the first one, but the first one in a long time. They had the 8 Plus, and then they kind of reverted the way they wanted to go with the 12 minis and the 13 minis. And then, like, these things are not selling. A couple of years ago, 13 mini was a bust as well. And now they released a new phone. They're like, let's try going a different route and increasing the size. And, man, I thought this would be, honestly, the best-selling phone because it's like it's a mixture of, the same size as the Pro Max, but you're getting, a significantly cheaper price point. This is definitely going to sell out. But little did you know, this was probably the hardest selling device for us in our store.
So,
and it was, I would say the 14 as well. I'll put them in the same category, but I want to specifically state the 14 Plus because it had such high expectations. Let's keep that in mind. And it definitely did not perform to its expectations.
So the moment that phone came out, I was like, this phone is not it's not going to be a successful phone. Big reason being 60 hertz.
Yes.
In 2022, that's when this phone came out, you cannot have a phone with 60 hertz when you can spend less money or the same amount of money almost and get a 13 Pro Max. And we just talked about it like a while ago. If that phone was maybe $300 cheaper, even then it would not have had the same value because you're basically saying that we are going to take your money and we're going to give you a phone from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think that's just, I don't think there's going to be a 15 Plus with 60 hertz.
Yeah, you know what the 14 Plus kind of reminds me of right now? The 15-inch MacBook Air that just recently came out. They're kind of taking that same approach. It's like, you're going to get the same size as a 16-inch, even though it's 15-inch, but you're getting the bigger, size factor here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it actually might be a bust as well, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that was a blast. Had a lot of fun talking on today's podcast, and we covered a lot of very interesting stuff. Humane, a little bit of Reddit. We talked about some of our favorite phones,
Least favorite phones.
least favorite phones, and it was a pleasure recording this 4th episode with you guys, and I'm definitely excited for next week. And if you guys are new to this channel, please make sure you subscribe. And if you disagree with what we're saying here in terms of the phones that we like or dislike, Apple versus Samsung, please leave a comment below and we'll definitely respond and have a little bit of debate. Make sure you like the video or dislike it. No problem here. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss any new content. We greatly appreciate our viewers and have a wonderful day. And that's a wrap.